the big table to be a teammate millionaire. I used to think that my life was about my journey.
It's everything you wish
But
for.
then
Site
I
traffic is
found out bigger
skyrocketing.
than me. So I invited myself to make an impact on humanity. That's when I wrote my sequence plan, and I followed the steps and took action. Now money flows to prosperity, and I'm taking the world with me, because I found the light in me that was flickering and slowly fading. But now I have a millionaire path to financially become free at last, because I come out from underneath. Take a good look at me, 'cause I'm living my dream, and now I can see all I've achieved. Once I sat at the big table, I believe, and now I stand tall when they say my name for millionaire roll call. And now I stand tall and live out loud, 'cause I deserve it all, because I found the light in me that was flickering and slowly fading. But now I have a millionaire path to financially become free at last, because I come out from underneath. Take a good look at me, 'cause I'm living my dream, and now I can see all I've achieved. Once I sat at the big table to be a teammate millionaire. I'm a teammate millionaire. I'm a teammate millionaire.
Go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Rapid Marketing System. If this is the first time joining us, welcome. What to expect, what are these calls, and why do we only do them on YouTube Live? Well, number one, we want to bring the YouTube Live experience to as many of you as possible. So that's why moving forward, we're only going to be doing these on YouTube Live. It's the easiest place for you to be able to access, jump on, be here, be live with us. And as we progress through today, jump into the chat and let me know what questions you have. Just jump in and say hello. I'm looking over there. I see we got Jackie here. Hey, Jackie, it looks like it's your first time watching live. Awesome. Welcome. We got Dylan. Dylan's there. Rita's there. Tracy's there. Awesome. Welcome, everybody, to Rapid Marketing System. A common theme that you're going to start to hear on these Rapid Marketing System training sessions right here on YouTube Live is something that I like to call bite-sized marketing calls to action. So you'll notice that these sessions will be sometimes as long as 30 minutes, maybe sometimes as short as 15 minutes, sometimes even shorter, because what I want you to do from these sessions is take action. So today's process, today's thought is, how do I make more money with social media? Again, welcome everybody to Rapid Marketing System Training. My name is Steve Lemos. I will be your guide, your moderator, your host on this call today. I'm a digital marketer, creative content expert, and even more recently have promoted myself to a prompt engineer. Thank you, ChatGPT. And I bring a lot of different content pieces to this call because I want you to be active. I want you to be taking the items you learn from these calls, generate action, go implement them into your business today, because everything that we cover on these calls should be able to be implemented as soon as tonight, tomorrow, this weekend. You shouldn't be taking a lot of time to overthink the process because it doesn't take that much time to implement this and move forward. Now, looking out at everybody who's on the live. Hey, Rita, welcome. Hey, Lorenzo, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. So how do you and how can you make more money with social media? Well, let's get started. First question, why? Why use social media? Well, Last time I checked, social media is the brand new billboard to the infomercial highway. When was the last time you drove down a street, drove down the highway, and saw maybe one, maybe two, maybe 10 different billboards advertising different services, different products, different messaging, and not one of them really said, hey, here's a coupon, here's a discount. It was mainly just a brand and image that was going to be implanted in your brain, because then what happens? After you drive by that billboard so many times, you start to think to yourself, I could potentially maybe look at that product or service. Or you're thinking the opposite. You're thinking to yourself, I would never use that product or service. Here's what happens. 6 months down the road, a year down the road, you're going to be in a position where you need that product or you need that service. What are you going to be thinking about? You're going to be thinking about the latest thing that you saw as a starter to go and practice due diligence to be able to go find that product or service to your problem. You're going to be looking for that solution. So why use social media? Well, number one, it's going to increase that web traffic to you, bringing people off of the social media platforms directly to your website, get their name, get their email, get their phone number, get all the information that you need so you can continue to educate them, take them through a process until they're ready to purchase from you. Second thing it's going to allow you to do is social media today is the number one place where you can generate leads almost instantaneously. I have been working on numerous paid and non-paid campaigns for the last decade, and I will tell you that you will generate social media leads day one. All you have to do is start. Build brand awareness. A lot of you that have been asking me, sending in questions, especially to rapid marketing system questions, social media is a great way to test and get feedback from potential customers on your brand. Do they want you? Do they want you to go build it? Do they like your products and services? Ask them for that feedback. Of course, number four, the number one reason you should be on social media, it is because it's going to help you generate income. If you're using social media for something other than that, it's just interesting, it's fun, it'll take up and suck up a lot of your time. You want to be able to use social media for that purpose. And then, of course, number five, the more that you get feedback from your potential customers, the more you can sell deeper into your funnel. I was recently reading an article that said that it takes way more time to go and generate a new person, to get them interested, get them educated, and sell them a product or service than it is to simply just upsell your current customers, your current prospects into a new product or service after they've already bought. So think about that for a moment. You're going to spend way more time and energy trying to produce something, put it to market, ask for people to pay for it, when you can start to generate content, be on social media, say, hey, everyone, here's who I am, here's what I'm an expert in, here's what I do. Would you be interested in this? Get the feedback, then go to the path of selling the product or service. So let's dive into how you start by creating more income on social media. Well, number one, if you're like anybody, I like Simon Sinek. I follow Simon Sinek, and his book Start With Why is one of the main reasons why we start with this question, or more better, we start with this thought. Define your goals. Why are you wanting to be on social media? Are you going to be on social media because everybody else is just telling you to go do that? Or are you noticing that a lot of your colleagues, friends, competitors who are running businesses are actually generating tons of income from that? And notice the processes that they actually do in order to get those results. So before you dive into any type of a social media strategy, before you even sit down with an expert, before you even set a session to talk to our team about Rapid Marketing System, one of the things you're going to want to think about is, how do I make this work for myself? Literally put the pen to paper, Laura, as Laura likes to call it, and write down why you want to do this. Not only strategize about results. Do you want to get more followers? Do you want to get lead generated? Do you want to make X amount of money? Do you want to get feedback for your products and services? Outline all of those specific objectives, because this is where you start. Then we go into a brainstorming phase to figure out what the next steps are going to be. Once you've done this, the next thing you want to do is we want to define our target audience. Do you know who your buyers are? Do you know what age group they are? Do you know where they hang out? Do you know what their interests are? If you don't know who they are, you need to start posting on social media, because your audience will begin to interact with you. They're going to start to like your videos, like your content. They're going to start asking questions. They're going to start sliding into those DMs and saying, hey, I saw that you were creating this product, creating this service. Tell me more about that. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can define your audience. Number one, if you don't have enough customers yet, we need to figure out who your audience is. For a relatively low ad budget, you could go to, and I'll just, as an example, let's go say Instagram. Let's say you got a couple hundred followers or a couple thousand or a couple 100,000 followers on Instagram, and they're just followers. They haven't really done anything for you yet. You want to find out if they're your correct target audience. What you're going to do is you're going to create a very specific video that says, hey, check out this cool product or service. Who would be interested in this? And we're going to do a paid ad campaign that not only targets those followers to a certain ad spend of about maybe 10 to 15 bucks a day. You're going to do that for about 30 days. The people that come off of the platform into your database tool, give you their information, go into your nurture system that will eventually get put in front of a paid product, is going to be able to give you enough data and feedback on who's purchasing that product. So that's how you're going to define the audience. For those of you that are out there and you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't know my audience yet. It could be anybody, right? It could be somebody who's 65, makes 100,000 a year. It could be somebody who's a millennial and they're actually making more money because they're promoting their own products and services on social media. Or it could be an influence. Like, for example, you could be a real estate agent and you're trying to sell a property, but your target audience isn't going to be necessarily the buyer. It's going to be the influencer that actually puts the property and showcases it in front of the actual buyer. Same thing happens with like exotic cars, sports cars, dealerships, that kind of thing. Sometimes you never know who is going to see that video, see that content, and then go put it in front of, put it in front of mom and dad, put it in front of their grandfather, their nephew, their niece, and say, hey, you should check this out. You should go check out that product. You would be surprised as to how much content gets shared from one piece, one target audience into 10x, 100x other avatars. So how do you do this? Well, if you don't know who your audience is, remember what I said earlier about the paid campaign to find out who that potential audience could be. If you're already in a path of growth, if you already have a bit of a follower, that's what you're going to do. Now, if you're in a position where you don't have any following whatsoever and you want to find out who your audience is, you're going to spend a little amount of money. You're going to create a video that just talks about who you are, what are you an expert in, what do you do. You're going to say in the video, hey, my name is Steve. I'm a digital marketer, creative content expert. And today I'm going to share a couple of ways that you can create more money on social media. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the video, you're going to have a call to action. That call to action is going to say, hey, follow me for more if you like what you saw. You're going to boost that video on the platform of choice. Your audience is going to be anybody between the ages of 35 to 65, because we all know that's a good buying group. And you're going to focus on the United States. For those of you that are international, you're going to have to pick your region, you're going to have to pick your country, and then you're going to have to boost that video to all of those people in the age group and see who resonates, see who responds. Those that eventually respond, engage, follow. Tier 2 is going to be putting a product or service in front of them to see who will buy. All of this information will be collectively be together and give you who your audience is. Because here's the downside to this. The only way you really find out who your audience is going to be is by interacting with them, engaging with them, and asking them for the money. Ask them for the paid product or the paid service. Next up, choose the right platforms. There's so many social media platforms to choose today. Where do you start? How do you get going? It's overwhelming. I get it. It's a challenge. So here's what I will say. Pick three platforms, and here's where I will go. Number 1, pick Meta. Meta's been around the longest, and it's the most self-sustained, meaning that if you were to go put an ad campaign on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to get a result almost instantaneously. You can lead generate that fast. Number 2, go to TikTok, because TikTok is the number 1 growing platform. It's still a little bit of the Wild West out there, but you can get a high return doing ads and then also organic growth. And then number 3, I always say pick a path. Do you want to go to YouTube? because your intention and your plan is to monetize that channel? Or do you want to go to LinkedIn because you've heard it's a professional platform and you can probably find some higher level leads over there? Pick your path. Those are your top three. Number one is Meta. Number two is TikTok. And then number three, decide on YouTube or LinkedIn. By the time you're fully submersed in this process, you're going to be on every single platform, because today you're able to take one piece of content, go post it on Instagram and repurpose that everywhere else. You can do that on Facebook. You can do that on LinkedIn. You can do that on YouTube. So it doesn't matter what platform, it's going to be the same content on everything. Next up, create engaging content. We've talked about this a lot. If you actually go to the live tab right here on Laurel's YouTube channel, go check out the replays, some of our past rapid marketing system sessions. I talk about scripting. I talk about content creation. What do you do to create engaging content so that your potential customers can engage with you, start conversations with you, so you can give them your expert statement and make a sale? Go and check some of those out. Last but not least, how do you then implement the social media selling strategies? By the simplest definition, if all you did right after this call today is go message all of your followers on Instagram, go message all of your followers on Facebook, and simply said, hey, first name, I appreciate you following me. How can I help you? I guarantee that you're going to start generating conversations, get people interested in what your products and services are, and you're going to take them down the path of making sales. If you're in a position right now where you're telling yourself, I need to generate income, I need to make sales, how can I generate that from social media? You're going to go to your social media accounts, look up your followers, DM them, message them one by one. Hey, first name, how can I help you today? I noticed you've been following me. Use variations, start conversations. When in doubt, this is something that Laurel says all the time. When in doubt, pick up the phone, which means exactly this. Jump to your social channels, jump in the messenger, jump in the DMs, and simply start your conversations. And I believe there was one more that I didn't get up here, but last but not least, this is what Laurel likes to say is rinse and repeat. Optimize, get feedback. As you're out there sending messages, as you're out there engaging, as you're out there creating content, you're going to notice what works and what doesn't. Get the feedback, optimize, refresh, create something new, and then rinse and repeat. It's just a cycle. It's a unity cycle. So that's pretty much all we have today for rapid marketing system training sessions. Take this bite-sized marketing call to action. Go and start engaging with your social media channels today. Jump into DMs, message your followers, ask them, how can I help you? Start a conversation. For those of you that are in a position where you're starting from scratch, go and sign up for the accounts today. It's going to take you 20 minutes to go set up an Instagram account, go set up a Facebook business page, a TikTok account, and simply start posting your content, start sharing your story, start telling people, who are you? What are you an expert in? What do you do? And then the conversations and the engagement will come from there. That's all I got for y'all today. So create action, short and sweet, get to selling on social media, create income. We'll see you back here next Wednesday for another marketing training session. As always, if you guys want to learn more about what we do on Rapid Marketing System, head on over to askrms.com/start. I'm going to go put this into the chat for those of you right here on YouTube. And then also for those of you that are joining us live, just know that we are moving to only YouTube lives, and pretty soon that will be the only access that we will have. So there's a link for y'all. Appreciate you. Have a good evening. Take action. Jump into social media. Create some results for yourself today. Have a good night.